everyone, welcome back to Social Butterfly. Okay, who listened to the last episode and when I said, oh, I'll probably record one more episode in this house before we move, and said, yeah, right, you will. If you said that, you are correct, because I don't know what was in my mind that I thought I was going to be able to record another episode there when we were literally moving the next week, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember. No, we had not gone to New York yet before I recorded that episode. So I recorded that episode. We went to New York. The week we got back, we closed on our house, and then I got sick and Remy was sick, and then we moved. So I don't know what delusional land I was living in that I thought, oh, I can record another episode here, because I most certainly could not and did not. That was not going to happen. But you have to admire the optimism, you know what I mean? And since we moved, that is why today is an audio episode only, because I'm not really sure where my camera is. I know it's here. It's just our basement is really just a catch-all for all of our things, which I'll get into later. So we're just doing audio only, and I wish you could see the rig that I have created for myself here in my bedroom. I'm gonna take a picture of it and I'll put it on the screen if you're watching. I'm using my Kindle holder to hold my microphone, which actually works pretty well, because I've been considering getting a tripod for my mics anyway, because when I touch the base of them, you can like hear the noise. So I was thinking of getting something to like hold it so I don't have to be holding it. And this actually works very well because I'm just chilling on my bed right now, and the way I have it hooked up is pretty perfect. So for the second episode of season 2, we'll go through my top 5 things. I'll talk about our New York trip. I'll talk about moving, just kind of all the things that I have been up to as of late, because a lot has happened. First things first, my top 5 things. Let's get right into it. Okay, number 1 on this list, usually I save the drinks for the end, but I had to start out with this. I have really been loving the Fairlife chocolate like protein shakes. And here's why I've been loving them, is because I drink one on my way to work and it helps me, like, I feel full. And so I'm not having to really eat something. I still eat like once I get to work, or sometimes I'll eat something as I'm driving to work, but it helps me like not be starving in case I don't grab something to eat while I'm driving to work, because in case you missed it, I have a new 45-minute commute. And so I'm leaving the house a little bit earlier, getting up earlier. It's a whole thing. And I don't always have time for breakfast, but I do have time to grab those. And they're delicious. Only downside, they are kind of pricey. So I don't know how much of a habit I'm going to make this, but so far I have been stocking them and they have been great. I've been really loving those. Second thing kind of goes hand in hand with my new commute, and that is audiobooks. I've never been a huge audiobook person. I would do it every once in a while, especially if I needed to read something quickly, because I could put it on, 1.5 or 2 time speed. And when I've had like really, really long drives, but I'm more of like a podcast music person when I'm driving. But now that I have essentially 2 hours in the car every day, I decided to give audiobooks a try. And our last book club read, I read on audiobook, and I finished it in the first week of my new commute, and I loved it. I think it's really going to help with book club books, like being able to listen to them as I drive. And yeah, I'm really pumped about that. So I'll keep you posted on my audiobook journey there. Okay, my third thing, and I think this has come with a new morning routine and trying to get up earlier and all of that, but I've been making morning get ready with me videos on my TikTok, not every day, but way more than I used to, a good amount of them since I started this new commute. And I have to say, they're really fun. I've kind of got it down to like a science already, and I put timestamps on it, and it's kind of to hold me accountable for what time I get up and trying to figure out a routine with that. That's still a little difficult. I am such an alarm snoozer, so it's been a work in progress, but I will say that I have not been late yet. So that is, I better knock on some wood here, but that is good. So far, so good. Fourth thing on my list that I have really been loving is my digital camera. So I found my old digital camera from like middle high school, like 2006. one of the times that I went back home, it still had memory cards in it that are 2 gigabytes from like my trip to Europe in high school and just like old high school stuff. And so I took it with me on my birthday trip to Tennessee. And then I took it to New York. And not only have I liked like taking pictures on it just because I like the way it looks, but I've liked taking videos on it because just the audio style and video style of it feels like very old school, right? And so that's been really fun. And then my friend Grace just had a Y2K themed birthday party for her 30th birthday the other weekend, which was so much fun. And so I brought my camera and we took I think I basically took all the pictures that I took that night on that camera. I still want to make like a TikTok or video from the footage that I took. It's just so fun. And it low-key takes a really good picture still. So that's a win. So yeah, I've just been really loving my digital camera. Shout out Y2K technology, you know? All I really had to do was just go on Amazon and find a charger and like some extra batteries for the kind that it is. And we were back in business. It was awesome. And then last but not least, and I have a funny little caveat with this, but Chick-fil-A has a new strawberry hibiscus like flavor. You can get it in a Sprite, in a lemonade, in a Sunjoy. And listen, I made a what I drink in a day TikTok. I do those, I don't know, I would say probably like once a month. And that day I had gotten Chick-fil-A and I got a strawberry hibiscus Sprite. And that's my fifth thing, by the way, the strawberry hibiscus Sprite. It is so good. Highly recommend. But I put that in my what I drink in a day video and someone commented and said, "We don't like homophobic chicken," which you are right. We do not like homophobic chicken, okay? But something that I started doing, and I don't do it every single time, but I don't go to Chick-fil-A that much. So as much as I can, I do it. So if I go, I will then like make a donation in the amount that I spent there to like the Trevor Project or Planned Parenthood or something like that, just to like offset my contribution to their corporation. Okay, those are my top 5 things. Currently, my current top 5 favorite obsessions. Now, let's talk about New York. I can't believe I was planning this episode and I totally didn't even include New York. Oh my gosh. So we were there. I have yet to make a full TikTok of everything. I have so much footage sitting on my phone and I just haven't done it yet. Because like I said, we got back, then we closed on our house. I got sick, then we moved, and it's been wild. So I need to actually sit down and make that video. But we spent 3 full days there. We got there the first day around 4 p.m. and then we had 3 full days, and then we flew out about noon the last day. So 3 full days. It was so much fun. This is my second time in New York. The first time we went a couple years ago during Christmas time, and I made a full itinerary because it was Christmas time and there were so many things that I wanted to see and do, and so I packed those days full of activities, and I think it stressed Alec out a little bit, but we made it all happen. We got it all done. So this time around it was a lot more relaxed. You know, there weren't as many like seasonal things that I like really wanted to see and do, so that helped a ton. We only really had a couple things like actually scheduled. Our trip was planned around, we went to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway, which was phenomenal. We went because Tom Felton is playing Draco Malfoy on Broadway right now, and you guys, when he came out on stage, I literally cried. Like, it was just so, I am such a Harry Potter fan. Like, I read the books very, very young, watched all the movies, went to the midnight premieres. My friends and I would play Harry Potter, like pretend. I've even gotten so far as to like gotten into fan fiction. I was deeply on Draco Talk in 2020. If you know, you know. Just a really big fan. And so Alec got me these tickets for my birthday, one of the best gifts I have ever gotten. And that is kind of what took us to New York. And then we did end up waiting outside the stage door, which I think we were maybe like 10 minutes away from like leaving, because obviously it takes a while, you know, after the show they have to get out of makeup and costume and blah, 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 blah. But he came out and we didn't get an autograph. We were like 4 people deep and I didn't want to like be that person to push forward. But, and I've told this story a couple times to different people in my life, so if you've heard this one, bear with me. But there was a little girl on her dad's shoulders that was even farther back than we were, and she was saying, like, is he coming out? Like, I'm so excited to see him. And she had a little Slytherin notebook, and someone passed it up to the front for her, and he signed it for her. And when it came back to her, she was sobbing, and I just about cried because of how happy she was. And so her getting that autograph, like, I didn't need it. As you know, her getting that made me happy for enough for the both of us. It was so great. But it was so cool. Just a cool experience. So fun. You see, you watch shows and movies, and I feel like especially where I am from, in the Midwest, you don't really ever think you're ever going to see these people in real life. You know what I mean? So to be able to see that, and Daniel Radcliffe is on Broadway right now too, so we could have done a double whammy, but we didn't. We ended up going to Book of Mormon the next night, which was so good. I had never seen that before, and at no point did I know what was happening next. It was so funny, but so like random. I just didn't know what to expect, but that definitely wasn't it, but I loved it. It was hilarious. But yeah, so we saw the shows, and then we just did a lot of walking around, which I feel like is just kind of New York, you know what I mean? Especially if you haven't been there a ton. We went to Din Tai Fung for dinner. We had a lunch reservation at Via Carota. I might be saying that wrong. Via Carota in Greenwich Village. Happened upon Cornelia Street while down there, which was really cool. We really did just walk past it, though, I swear. Like, we were walking past it as we were making our way back uptown to go meet up with my friend Sam, who just moved to New York, and we stumbled upon it. I knew it was in that neighborhood, but yeah, so that was a fun little happenstance. And there were like people on the street like taking pictures in front of if you don't know, Cornelia Street is a Taylor Swift song, but is written about she rented a place there for a while. And it's a really short street in the Greenwich Village area of New York. And so people now will go there and like take pictures in front of her old apartment. She doesn't live there anymore. But it was cool to just see the street and like just take a picture of like the street sign, but I didn't take a picture of the apartment or in front of it or anything like that. We went across the Brooklyn Bridge one day, which was super cool. We had never done that before, and spent a little time over in Brooklyn. The views from that side of Brooklyn of like Manhattan are so beautiful. So that was really fun. What else did we do? When I say we did a lot of walking around, I really mean it. When we go to New York, we stayed with Alex's great aunt and uncle. They live there. And so they graciously allow us to stay at their place. Last time we were there, they lived in Harlem. Now they live more so on the Upper West Side. They moved a little south, right off Central Park, which was really cool. So we spent time with them. We went to this really cool interactive, I can't remember if it's pronounced art or arte museum in the Chelsea Pier. It was super cool. Like you went into different themed rooms, and they were all, like I said, interactive or like immersive experiences. It was really fun. And we had lunch with them and Alex's cousins that are there, our cousins, I guess. Yeah. So that was really neat because that's definitely family that we don't get to see unless we're in New York. We also went back to the 9/11 museum and made the mistake again of scheduling something. We had made a lunch reservation at 2, and so we went to the 9/11 museum. I think we got there at like noon, and we still didn't have enough time because we went the last time we were there, and I think we went right when it opened. We had allotted ourselves like 3 hours, like did not get through everything because I think we just severely underestimated how much there would be to see and read and everything. And we are big, like when we go to museums, we are reading everything. So we were like, okay, this time we'll go back, we'll finish it. So we allowed ourselves like 2 hours this time, still did not get through everything. So we're going to go next time we're back, and we're not going to schedule anything that we have to immediately be at for at least, 5 hours after the fact, so that we allow ourselves enough time to really like walk through everything, read everything, because it's such a well done museum, and it feels just so, it's really heavy, right? It's one of the biggest tragedies in our country, and it's just such a moving experience. And so to allow, the full effect of it all, we really need to just allow for the time and not be rushed. trying to think of what else we did. Like I said, a lot of New York this time around was kind of just strolling around. You know, we find somewhere we want to go in, we would. We did have an early lunch at France's Tavern, which is way down south. I can't even begin to explain to you where it is because I would be wrong. But it is like a very, very old like tavern pub. It's the one where I think George Washington had his like retirement party there. It would be the one, if you're a Hamilton fan, it is probably the one where, you know, when they're meeting in a bar, it probably would have been that place. We did go to Trinity Church and saw Alexander Hamilton's grave and Eliza's grave. Like I said, just kind of like bebopped around. We went to the Chelsea Hotel and had a martini. I had to explain the significance of that to Alec, but that was really cool. And it was just a really fun trip. Really nice to just kind of go with the flow and not have a hard set itinerary. Did that. We got back on a Tuesday. And we picked Remy up and she had an upset tummy. She must have eaten something. If you have a dog in general, but like especially a lab, you know that they just like get into stuff sometimes. So she was not feeling good, poor thing. And then I started not feeling well. And so we were supposed to go home for St. Pat's the weekend following us being in New York. And we ended up not going. Number one, because I was sick. Like I got a cold essentially, but it was like, I think it was like a sinus infection. I was hurting. Remy was sick, and then back home they ended up getting this huge snowstorm. Like we would have been stuck there, and we were packing because we were then moving the weekend after. So we have officially moved. We've been in our new house for 2 weeks now. We were just gone this weekend. We went home for Easter, but we've been here for 2 weeks. Definitely not anywhere near unpacked. Our kitchen is like fully set up. Our living room is pretty much fully set up. Nothing's like decorated, but it's set up. So that's good. Our bedroom is kind of set up. There's just clothes everywhere. The closet is what I really need to do. The thing about moving to this house is, so the house we were in before, we were renting, and we lived there for 5 years. And you accumulate a lot of shit in 5 years. I think I probably said this in the last episode, but holy crap. So we moved into our new house, and I was commenting on how much like bigger the bedrooms seemed than our old house, because it's pretty much the same layout, same size. I think we have like, I looked at it, I think we have like 20 extra square feet. So like not a ton. But the bedrooms are bigger because we do not, our house that we came from had a lot of storage, like a lot of storage. So in our new house, we do not have a linen closet. We do not have a coat closet. The one bedroom closet is like a single door instead of like a sliding door, you know, on a 2 side. It's just a 1 door, and it doesn't really have any room to hang things. It just has shelves because it has those, like, you know how sometimes houses in a closet, they have like stairs almost, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's what's in there. So there's really no room for hanging things. So we are kind of down that closet too. So we are in a storage battle right now. So we are going to have to get creative. I think Alec, and in our old house, the basement, like bedroom, had a closet. And in this house, the basement, it's like the same size, but it's not closed off, so it's not a bedroom, it's just like one big room. So there's no closet there either. So we've been talking about options. You know, we might get an armoire for one of our spare bedrooms. We probably could fit a second dresser in our bedroom. Our closet in our bedroom is bigger, and I really need to put that together. That's part of my goal for tonight, but it's already 9 o'clock, so we'll see what happens there. I do kind of want to document some of this too on my TikTok, just because I feel like there's just so much content to be had with buying a new house and moving in and settling and decorating and organizing and all the things. But my problem is like, I'm gonna go do it, and I just do it, and then I get done and I'm like, oh shit, I wanted to film that. So A+ content creator over here. I need to remember to actually do that while I'm putting everything together. But yeah, so we're fighting a storage problem. I don't know. We also have a lot of stuff, so I feel like it's kind of both, you know what I mean? Like, we're realizing, holy crap, we have a lot of things, and holy crap, we don't have as much room as we used to hold said things. So it'll be interesting. I'll keep you updated on that whole saga, but it is starting to feel like home. And like I said, the drive, I really do not mind. The only thing that was kind of weird about it is the very first day of my drive, I felt very anxious, like being away from home. Like knowing I couldn't just run home really quick if I needed to. That made me anxious. And I know that like Alec now is in, like Alec works in Omaha, and so he's now in the same town as our house. So like if anything happened or if he needed to run home, he could. And Remy is totally fine during the day. Like I do feel bad, like because I used to go home for lunch, not specifically to let her out, but like it was nice to be able to. And so I'm toying with the idea of like whether or not we should get someone to let her out during the days. I don't know, because Alec doesn't really have the luxury of being able to leave and come home for lunch. So we'll see what I end up deciding on that front. But it definitely is starting to feel like home. There are a lot of elements about this house that make it like very cozy and homey, which I love. We have a giant window in front of our kitchen sink, like huge window that lets in so much light. It's beautiful. Our living room has a fireplace, a gas fireplace, which I also love. We turned it on last week because it was like kind of chilly. And holy cow, does that thing put out some heat, so that's fun. We have such a big fenced-in yard, which is awesome. Remy is loving that. And we have a 2-level deck, so we're on the hunt for some patio furniture too. I'm going to put some lights out there, kind of make that space. I'm excited that we moved in at the time we did, like spring, summer, because we'll be able to use that space like right away. And then our bedroom has this beautiful accent wall in it, and yeah, it's starting to feel like home, which is a nice feeling, because I will say I did panic a little bit when we were moving, because I'm like, oh my God, like we're leaving Lincoln, we're leaving this house, like we're leaving all this familiar stuff. Being in the house for the last time and it being empty was so sad. I think both Alec and I teared up just because we just made so many great memories in that house. That was our first home together, but we're going to make so many great memories in this house too. And I'm so excited for, just at the sake of being cheesy, just this new chapter in Omaha. I'm so excited. I've already made it a goal to like try out a bunch of the new coffee shops. We've already like been making plans with our friends that are here, which is super fun. I'm excited for my Lincoln friends to come here and hang out and visit. I'm just excited for the life that we're going to build here together. I know that it's going to be great, and we're going to make it great, and we'll make this a home together. But, you know, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't still a little, I don't know if scared is the right word, or just nervous about such a big change. But I know that that's just part of life. People buy houses and move and all that stuff all the time. So I'll get over it eventually. Once I get into a routine, I think I'll be feeling better, because that's the thing. Like, we've been here for 2 weeks and I've kind of gotten a morning routine down. Like I said, I definitely think those morning get ready with me's help as far as like setting a routine, because I'm filming it, and so I've kind of found out like what works for me in that regard. But I feel like once I kind of get a after work routine down too, then I'll be feeling better about everything. It is a little bit difficult getting home an hour later than I usually plan, because then I only have, you know, let's say I mean, usually I go to bed around 10. Only have like 4 hours to do things, which like seems like a lot, but also not, you know. Let's say I want to edit my podcast, or I want to read a book. I usually make my TikTok for the day. We need to eat dinner. What if we need to get groceries that night? What if I need to shower? You know, all those different things, you know, can add up, and you just don't have enough hours in the day. So I need to get that routine. I think routines is what is really gonna kind of start making this feel like, okay, this is our life now. This is what I'm doing now. I think that'll help a lot. And also just unpacking too. I think the more we get settled, the less boxes and bags and stuff I'm surrounded by, the more settled in I'll feel, and the more comfortable I'll feel, and that, you know, this is our home and this is where we actually live, and things are put away. As I'm sitting on my bed and it's covered in clothes and stuff. Yeah, so I think all of that combined is definitely going to help, but it'll be a work in progress. It'll definitely take time. We set a date for a housewarming at the start of June. It is currently the start of April, so I'm hoping in the next 2 months I will be settled and unpacked and decorated and feeling like home. The rest of the month of April, we are home. Like, we are here. We are not going anywhere. So that is exciting. Like, we have plans, but we're not going anywhere. May, however, we are gone pretty much every weekend because we have a wedding, and then we have my brother's graduation, and then we have my mom's graduation back-to-back weekends, which are both, of course, far away. So we will be busy in May, and that's where I say like managing the weekday time comes in, because I'd like to say, oh, I'll go home and tonight I'll, organize my dresser, or I'll organize downstairs or whatever. But then you get home and then you're tired and then you have to eat and then you just want to veg and there's episodes of The Pit to watch and, it gets away from you. But such is life, such is being an adult. I'll get used to it. I'll get over it, whatever. But, I feel safe venting about this all. I know that I'm sure anyone listening to this can relate to this just like feeling of chaos. We've all at least moved in our lives or had big changes where it takes an adjustment period. And that's just where I'm at right now. And my therapist said that I seem to be handling it very well. Thank you, Barb. So I'm just going to cling on to that and feel that I'm handling it well and keep chugging along. And it'll be great. I was thinking about future episodes. Now that I'm in Omaha, I definitely want to have more of my Omaha friends on here. I do still have some Lincoln friends that I need to have on here too, but we'll get everyone on. I mean, I think you can tell from previous episodes, I just love talking to my friends about themselves and about friendship. I mean, that's what this podcast is all about, right? So I will definitely be having more guests on, but I do want to do a ask me anything Q&A episode. Here's the thing though about those is that you have to have people to write in questions. So if you are listening to this, keep an eye on the Social Butterfly Instagram, and there will be a question box at some point, and please send in questions. Please, please, please. Will I probably be texting my friends to be like, hey, go do this? Yeah, probably. But you know what? I've got 60 followers. So what do you want from me? You have to build it. Okay. It's a work in progress. But I think that would be a fun episode to do. I always find myself when I'm listening to a podcast, sometimes I'll be answering the question in my head that they asked someone, or I'll even pause it and be answering it as I'm driving, which that might actually be really cringy to have just admitted out loud, but you know what, whatever. It's in the comfort of my own car by myself. It keeps my mind stimulated while I'm driving. It's safe. Okay. So I just think answering questions would be a fun episode to do. So keep an eye out for that in future episodes. But this is also something that I need to get back into the routine of. I'm sure it will come easier once I find my camera and find a more regular space to do this. Like I said, our basement is a really big catch-all for a lot of stuff that we don't have room to store right now. So finding space to sit down and film and record might take a little bit, but we will figure it out eventually. We have another corner in our basement that is empty as of now. I think Alec is thinking about building some cupboards or bookshelves or something there for storage. So maybe I can make it a cute little recording corner. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But I'm excited to come up with that space for our house too. I think that'll be really fun. So with that, I guess that is the end of this episode. I know it maybe didn't seem like much, but it's me getting back into the routine of putting these out too, because I really don't want to let myself fall all the way off the wagon with this. So thank you for listening and sticking around, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.